Oh yeah, we're gonna have some fun here. Hobby with Cage, Road to the National with Rodman PC. As we gear up for the National in Chicago, no, Rosemont. We do a couple episodes. You guys are seeing other content creators do these as well. No one's gonna have Rodman on. No one's gonna have Rodman. Welcome to the show, man. I can't wait to talk to you about the National.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me. I'm excited about the national. My first national was 2018, and I haven't missed one since that. So I'm looking forward to this one.
So, the thought of going to another national, right now, I think it's the eighth in a row here. If I did my math right, and never a thought in your mind, I'm missing this. Like I know when it is, I'm going.
Yeah.
Why? What's the number one reason? The number one, like, all right, I have to go because
It's just the place to be. It's the people. To be honest, I know that place is going to be filled with cards, but I honestly make it just because it's that moment of the year where you get to meet up with your friends, your hobby friends, which you spend a lot of time chatting with them on IG or whatever, and it's that time to just make some in-person relationships and then just hang out. I mean, it's fun. It's like. It's just I don't know how to. If you haven't experienced it, well, you have less than a month or a
yeah,
month and
yeah. I
something.
mean, it's like a month and
to
change
make
going.
it
Yeah,
happen. Yeah, and good thing this year is going to be in Chicago. I love Chicago as a city. It's one of my favorite cities in the U.S. So yeah, I mean,
it's gonna be fun.
it's
You never
gonna
know
be.
what's gonna happen at the National. I mean, the National of Atlantic City. I showed up at a dinner once. I sat down. To my right was Adam Lefko from TNT, and on my left is Rodman. And I'm like, look at this. What are we eating? What are we serving on this flight? Which is fun because it's the kind of thing that happens at the National. Everybody who you like you said you talk to. Right, we're our internet friends, you know what I mean? You get to hang out and be real friends for a couple of days,
Exactly.
and all what brings you guys together on the internet is now bringing you together here, in this humongous room of craziness. You know what I mean? Do you have cards targets for this? Do you have cards you're looking to move? Do you have cards you're looking to add? Do you just go and kind of wing it? Do you bring like a top 5 list like, Jay Leno or like a night show?
No, I never make lists. It's like I always have chase cards. I usually try to get them before the show because
Okay.
you're not gonna get assured that the card is gonna be there, or if it's there, if the price is gonna be right. I usually try to make my deals before the show or after the show, but you never know what you're gonna find. I know a lot of people have different strategies. Like they usually build up this war chest for the show and be ready to buy whatever they find and they like. I just like to free flow. To be honest, I don't have like an agenda. It's not something like I prepare for. At least for or in regards to purchases, I just go with the flow and try to actually enjoy myself first, and then second, I might find something nice to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
I mean,
also, let me tell you this.
yeah,
It's
please.
also what if you go without a strategy, it's always even better because sometimes you might just end up coming back actually with more money that went which you and it happens. Trust me, because there's so many people looking to buy, and you just like you said, just a random talk like, "Hey, let me see what's in your backpack," and then you pull something up, and there's someone ready to put like a very interesting offer for what you're carrying. So it happens.
I think that's so funny. Everybody else will say go with the strategy, otherwise it's overwhelming. You're like, wing it, and you never know who's going to offer you what for what you're carrying around. And by the way,
Right.
it's true. I mean, the last Chicago National, I sold something on the last day. I thought I was just bringing it for like eye candy. I'm just going to show this off and blah blah blah. And there are several cards that I got good offers on at the National that looking back, I really wish I would have sold them and didn't.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Are you somebody who partakes in? I know the answer to this, but I'm asking anyway because a lot of people love to go to the National for card grading. Do you grade stuff while you're there or no?
I always do that. Yeah. The first thing I once I get there is I go to PSA. That's like my first stop. Because I'm international, so I don't usually ship cards to get graded. during the year, I usually do like 1 or 2 submissions, but I usually like load up with a bunch of cards and be ready to, well, grade some cards that might be higher end. I don't want them to be, going through mail. And I have these others which I just submit and get them later.
Right.
But yeah, I make sure to go PSA or Beckett or whatever. Yeah.
Right. So the grading is,
It's important.
that's a huge part of the show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I like it. It also is a liquidity creation. You know what I mean? Like, somebody walks up with a raw card, they get a 10-10, and it's boom. All of a sudden, there's an offer on it, and they got more money to spend in the room.
Yeah, it is. Actually, some of the bigger cards get graded at the national. Like Nat, he has like the top 100 graded cards at the national, and you see $1 million cards, and then you're like, wow, it's crazy. People are just walking around with these cards in their backpacks, but it is what it is. Yeah.
It's great content that they put out there. You know what I mean? I gotta tell you, I've never had any success. I love that Nat does the check, bring over a Beckett card, and we'll cross it over for you. My shit never. He looks at it, he's like, nah. I always give like a minimum grade. That's probably my fault. Like it would cross over and get a number, but not the number I want.
I never tried that. I hope he runs that again this year, because last year I came to the PSA, asked for him, but I came kind of late. I think I came on a Saturday or something, and he said he wasn't doing it anymore. So
yeah, I mean he gets kind of mobbed.
He told me he saw more like 1,000 cards or something like that. It's big. Yeah.
Maybe this year it'll be PSA's top 200 cards they'll put out. They're definitely grading. You saw the gem rate numbers. I mean, relatively soon they'll be grading 2 million in a month. They're at like 1.65 million cards in the month of May. It's insane how many cards they're grading. Crazy stuff. So, all right. So give me, because this will be a fun one, right? Because there are probably people out there who are, who might be going to their first national, who are listening to this, especially people who came in the hobby the last couple of years and might have skipped on Cleveland for one reason or another, and now Chicago's easier. It's like a self-contained unit. That's what makes it a really good place, I think, for the national. If you could go back 2025, Rodman, and talk to 2018 Rodman and give one piece of advice, when you go to the national, something now that you didn't know then, what would you say? What would you tell, besides buy everything? Besides buy it all, because 2018 shit was cheap.
It's gonna be it's probably not even card related. It'd be more like wear comfortable shoes. That would be one. Carry a battery pack for your phone, because your phone is going to get drained very easily. Just expect walking a lot. That 4 or 5 days of the show feels like a month. It's going to be very hectic. It's going to be very hard to keep your focus, because eventually you're going to find people to talk to. Like everything gets crowded, even though just going to doing something random like going to the restroom takes forever. Last year there were huge lines just to go to the restroom. Carry some snacks. That's very important. If you're carrying a backpack or anything, carry snacks, because sometimes it gets so hectic you won't even have time to eat. So carry something easy to drink and eat, and expect, I don't know, the unexpected, to be honest, because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, I think it was 2 years at the national. It was so packed you couldn't even feel the AC. Can you imagine that? So, but yeah, I'm happy it's in Chicago. I'm really excited about that. Last year, it was in Cleveland. Cleveland actually was my first one in 2018. I definitely prefer Chicago, and I believe every year should be in Chicago.
I mean, for people who haven't been there, my reason for that is it's not really in Chicago, right? So
yeah, it's Roseman.
But there's a convention center, and just everything's attached to it. There's restaurants, there's a ton of hotels, there's a bunch of places to walk to and go to, and steakhouses, multiple steakhouses within walking distance. Like I've gone to Chicago a couple times. I think this will be my third Chicago National now in the last, 5 or 7 years. And I don't rent a car. I don't take an Uber. I don't do. I get off the plane. You know what I mean? You go to your hotel, and that's it. And then you go back to your, 4 days later, 5 days later, you go back to the airport. You walk around, and it's everybody's there. You see everybody. You pass them in the street. You pass them, on your way walking through the stuff. So it's fun. No one card that you're on the lookout for this year, or no?
2018 Gold Kaboom Messi. I think that would be it.
Not an easy one to come by.
No, not an easy one, definitely. But you never know. You might find it on
Lamine Yamal,
or you just might find it on someone's backpack. You don't know. So
how about Yamal? Is he like already now priced too high? Does he have to win 2 World Cups?
I just prefer to buy Messi, to be honest. It's like my main PC is Messi, so my rationale every time I want to buy a Lamine card is, well, what could I buy with that same amount of money for Messi? So I was lucky enough to pick up some nice Lamine low numbered parallels before everything exploded, and that's about it. Everything's so expensive. I just rather buy Messi, to be honest.
It was the regular Topps, not Topps Chrome, was one of the first ones, if not the first release that had his card in. I think it was a regular Topps, and I bought a box of it for my son, just at my local guy. And it's a sticker order, but we got an blue auto out of 99 of Lamine Yamal in the box, and we still have it.
You want to listen to a crazy story? So last year, the Topps Chrome released like a week before the National. So I was in Orlando. I usually travel with my family there, spend a couple of days, and my family stays there, and I usually travel to the National. So I always go to the local card shop there. And I came in like 2 days earlier than the release, and I asked the owner, and it's like, you know they're coming? Well, I don't know. The distributor might come today or might come tomorrow. You don't know. So I believe I left for the show on Thursday or Wednesday. I don't remember. But the thing is, I called in, I think it was Wednesday early morning, and I called in and I told him like, hey, did you get the boxes? And he's like, I just got 3 hobby boxes, and no, actually 5 or something like, but it was like a really low number. So it's like, so I was like, all right, I'll make a run before I leave to the show and try and grab those boxes. And because I usually like to just hang out at the hotel and open some wax.
Mm-hmm.
So for some reason, I didn't get the time to go get those boxes because there was just like 3 boxes. Do you know what was pulled in those three boxes? The Lamine Superfractor Sticker Auto 101. And
is that the one that sold for $103,000 or that?
Yeah, I think that was the first one that sold. That Spinatron won that one. And I've been kicking myself for not making the run to that card shop because, well, it is what it is, man.
It'll balance out. It always does. It always balances out. I mean, I've told the story on my pod for a couple of times. I'll make you feel better about this. But on the day my son was born, it was a planned delivery for later in the day. So my wife was like, all right, I'm not supposed to eat for like 12 hours. So I have like, it was the morning. We woke up. She's like, oh, grab me a coffee at 7-Eleven. So, I drive over to 7-Eleven. And, the way I gamble, this is 12 years ago, I would go to there and I would buy, the coffee and probably a few donuts. I know that's a surprise to you with the svelte nature of my build here. And but then I would buy instant lotto scratch offs. I'm a degenerate. We all are in some way in this hobby. And I bought a $10 one. It's a green one. The grand prize $3 million, whatever. And I won $100. And normally, any other day, I would take that $10, put it back in my pocket, buy the rest of $90, at least put $70 in something, pay for the coffee, pay for the donuts, and then just roll the profit in, right? But this day, I didn't do that. I said to myself, I got to get home because if I don't get home quick enough, my wife's gonna be like, I can't drink this coffee now. I had like a window to drink this, and I'm gonna get yelled at by a 9-month pregnant wife. And and I said to myself, I remember saying to myself, like, I'll take the win. It's supposed to be a good day. Let's start this day. My son's being born today. I'll take the win. So kid's born. I stay in the hospital 3 days. I come home. And it's probably like few days after, I was like, oh, you know what? Get a cup of coffee. I'm like, all right, I'll drive over. I don't make coffee in my house. So we don't drink it that often. So we go to 7-Eleven. I walk in, and the guy, his name is Mehmet. He runs the store. He's like, oh, where have you been? I'm like, my kid was born. I've been around. He's like, a guy came in, bought the 2 tickets after you, and won $3 million. Look at the sign on the door. It was the second ticket after you won. And I'm like, why'd you even tell me this?
Oh,
I mean, I turn around and there's a big sign at the door.
painful.
We had a $3 million winner in the store. I'm like, son of a bitch. So it happens, man. It happens. I like to rationalize it and say I still won that day. I got a happy, healthy child. I wouldn't trade him in for $3 million in a second, but it'd be nice to have him and $3 million. I mean, it is what it is. So I don't know if that makes you feel better about your Lamine Yamal, but
It does. It actually does. Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, things like that should happen. But all right, I mean, listen, that the national in of itself, I love hanging out there. One of the things that you talked about, and maybe I want to touch on a little bit, is kind of trying to have your deals done ahead of time. I like that thought, right? So do you kind of spend a little more time in the month leading up to the event, like scouring eBay or people who are posting their cards on Instagram saying, this is what I'll have at the national, and try to reach out to them and work a deal out and finalize it, and then say, I'll meet you there with the cash. I'll pay some now. I'll give you a deposit. That way you're like, I don't want a chance that someone else is going to walk up to his table and take it from me. Is that what you do? You spend a little extra time kind of like trying to close the deal ahead of time? Because I've never heard anybody really talk about that.
No, I mean, there's always before the show, like everything kind of like I don't know, kind of like the market softens a little bit because everyone's like not spending money, just holding off for the national. So you do get some interesting opportunities leading up to the show. Also, you have a lot of people trying to liquidate some of their cards just to fund something bigger. So you might find some interesting deals right before the show. Dealers actually, if you want to like try to get something out of them before the show, they usually want to hold out and sell them after the show. So if you're working out with straight up with dealers, that might be hard because they're always gonna, no, let me wait and see if I get a better offer or what they're hoping to get at the national. So yeah.
Right. Because they can mark it up at the national and, always sell it for a discount if it doesn't sell there.
Exactly.
So the thought is somebody who might be heading to the national, looking to pick stuff up there, looking to build up their cash, looking to build up their, the money they're taking, might liquidate something ahead of time, at a price that works for you. And then you meet them there, you meet them at the hotel, you're like, hey, let's go. Don't walk that into the show and try to sell it to somebody else. Yeah. The deal is done.
That's the thing why a lot of people pay up for the VIP because they want that early entrance. Because I know a lot of people have made amazing deals just by being there early and having that early pass and just finding those cards and actually trying to get them before everyone comes in. So I know that would be an approach I would try if I would be chasing or just looking to buy at the show. I'm usually just looking to hang out, to be honest.
That's which is cool. I mean,
you'll see me in the hallways with my beer and just hanging out and just having fun. So
he's very laid back.
Or my Tito and soda.
Yeah, you reckon? I was gonna say not mostly Tito and a soda. Definitely. I mean, if you recognize him, go say hi. This is a friendly dude. This is a friendly guy. He's a friendly dude, and I'll take a second here, with everybody kind of listening to this to thank you. Very kind with his time and information. There are a few guys I would trust to kind of tutor me in soccer cards. You know what I mean? Miles is up there with you. That might be the short list. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's some other knowledgeable guys, but I mean, this guy has spent a lot of time, over Instagram private message, basically building out for me the soccer version of Messi of the Jordan hierarchy that Cajun built. This guy has it's in his brain. He just spouts it out. I'm sure he's typing it. Like I see the 3 dots and boom, it's just there. It's not something he has saved. It's just in his brain. Boom, it's out. So and then I'll ask him a question. Be like, wait, that hierarchy. could you do one for on-card autos? And he's like, yeah, this. Here's the noir. I mean, thank you for that. And to me, that's one of those things that happened at the National also. Not only you get to meet your friends, but like, if you want to learn, it's a great place to learn. People are, I will tell you, this hobby has some warts. There are some, there are some clowns in it. There are some, some pieces of the hobby I don't love, but man, you get to sit down with some folks who know their corner of the world. They know their corner of the hobby. You really learn some stuff. Look behind this guy. I mean, he's actually met Messi, and had him sign stuff.
I was lucky. Yeah, I was lucky.
So it's good stuff, and I appreciate that. So yeah, basically, don't let him buy any cards. Just tackle him and ask him questions. That's what I'm asking you guys to do.
That's it. Well, thank you for your kind words. Yeah, it's just part of the hobby. I mean, you got to find a way to help other people out and grow the community, grow the market. Like, right, I used to be in the Jordan market. Now I'm in the Messi market. I've always felt the same way. It's like I always try to help out, share some knowledge, because at the end, someone else did it for me at one point, and I just look to pay it forward.
I own more Messi than I own Jordan now.
No,
I own more Messi than I own Babe Ruth now, which I didn't think I would ever say.
That's amazing.
Yep, a lot of Messi. So, I mean, I don't know. The Messi trade might be getting crowded too. Who knows? I'll have to find something else. Maybe we're gonna have to collect highlight cards, or who knows?
Soccer is fun. You can still find pockets
of soccer. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, listen, guys. I told Rodman I'd keep it short. I'd keep it fluffy. We keep it fun. That's the road to the National. He will be there. I will be there. We hope to see you guys there. And thanks for the tips, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Shout out. Wear some deodorant. Don't forget.
Yeah, some deodorant. That's a good idea. It's a good. Take a shower if you can. I mean, you guys
every day. Take a shower every day.
It's not optional. Like it's the shower's included with your hotel, guys. They even give you soap. I mean, you can use it. Spend some time in there. Find parts of your body you don't know are there, and use some soap on them. Like it would help us all. Trust me, it really would. I mean, listen. So you hit all the stuff, man. The deodorant. You got the battery chargers. You got the comfortable shoes. And yeah, I mean, what the hell else are you supposed to talk about for the National? We'll see you all there. Rodman, you are the man. I appreciate you jumping on. I hope you guys enjoyed this road to the National. I mean, with RodmanPC, we'll see you guys there.
See you there.